Hello, Joe here from Infiniti of Tacoma. Today I'm going to tell you about this awesome 2021 Polestar 2 Launch Edition. Polestar is Volvo's performance brand and it's also their EV brand. So Polestar is a division of Volvo, and this is one of their fully electric vehicles. Obviously, looking at the interior and exterior styling, you can see that same design influence we see on regular Volvo vehicles passed along to the Polestar. I was just brushing up on my product knowledge. Car and Driver is one of my favorite automotive publications. They have a CD rating when they do an overview of a vehicle. They have a rating, 1 out of 10, and this actually scored an 8.5 out of 10. Very similar to the rating that they have on the Tesla Model 3. I actually own a Model 3 myself. We do really well with battery electric vehicles at Infiniti of Tacoma. I have a chance to have driven lots of them, experienced them. We have a Kia EV6, dozens of Teslas, this Polestar, Chevy Bolt, Audi e-tron. We have a great selection of EVs, and as an owner of an EV myself now and experiencing all the different ones, I just think it's a matter of time before EVs become the dominant vehicles on the road. To me, in most ways, not every way, EVs to me seem to be superior over gasoline-powered vehicles in many ways. Don't get me wrong, I love gas cars. I love a big V8 and a manual transmission. But when it comes to everyday driving, efficiency, saving money, you can't beat a BEV, and this is a great one. This is a one-owner clean Carfax vehicle, only 4,794 miles. This one's pretty comparable to, I'd say, the Model 3 or the Tesla Model Y, also similar to like the Kia EV6, was it the Ioniq 5? Or the Genesis GV60, I think, is the Genesis battery electric vehicle. Very similar as far as size and features go. This is pretty quick. This is a performance vehicle. 400 horsepower and close to 480 pound-feet of torque. It has 2 electric motors. There's a motor in the front and the motor in the back, making it all-wheel drive. It also makes it really fast. It's like having 2 engines. 0 to 60 right around 4 seconds. And the thing about driving a performance EV is, unlike driving like a gas EV, for instance, we have like an Audi RS5 badass, gas-powered performance coupe. I mashed in the gas. The car has to think for a second. The transmission's going to downshift to the right gear. The engine's going to rev to its power band, and then, so there's a little bit of hesitation when you mash in the throttle for the car to figure out what it's going to do, and then you take off. With this thing, it's instantaneous. You hit the throttle, you are greeted with instantaneous thrust. There's no downshifting, there's no transmission, there's just one gear. So the how fast it reacts to your throttle inputs, and just that neck snapping torque from an electric motor. See, engines generally have to rev to a peak power band to make its maximum horsepower or torque. Electric motors, they're making their maximum torque instantly. As soon as they get electricity, you're getting instantaneous torque. So the acceleration, the feel of an electric vehicle is pretty different than driving a gas car, even a performance gas car. And that's the addicting thing about these things. That's why people love, the high performance Teslas, the P100Ds and the Plaids and stuff. Is just it's like your own personal amusement park ride. The acceleration is pretty ridiculous in this thing, and for some people, it actually might make them car sick. It's that quick. Great infotainment system. Some car companies, I think, are making a mistake where they're trying to take on the infotainment system on their own. Cars are starting to become like smartphones on wheels, and pretty much with smartphones, when the iPhone came out, Apple did a great job of iOS. That, for a lot of people became the premier operating system for smartphones. Nokia and some of those other companies. I think even Microsoft tried to create their own operating system, but it's a tough feat. You really have to have a lot of research and development, good engineers to make a great infotainment system. I think Polestar is doing the right idea. They're actually using a version of Google's. Google made an iOS system specifically for cars. So it's being powered by Google. Obviously, Google Android is a great operating system. It's pretty much iOS or Android these days. Everyone else kind of gave up on trying to make a competing operating system, and I think that's kind of going to be the way for the cars. I think Tesla's kind of set the bar really high with their iOS. It's almost like it was designed by Apple engineers over their updates and stuff like that. So for Polestar to adopt the iOS, not the iOS, but the Google operating system for cars is a great idea. You have Google Maps, the functionality. I'm sure it's got great smartphone integration. Looks like you can pull up You probably have to have a subscribe to a connection, kind of like premium connectivity of Tesla. But you can, you know, probably stream music. I'm sure it has a cell phone operating hotspot just like Tesla, so you can stream music, stream, you know, YouTube and other things. There's different apps and stuff that you can download. I'm still kind of learning my way around the infotainment system. That's actually this is our second Polestar. The first one that we had, I actually sold so fast I didn't even have a chance to do a video or do pictures of it. So this is actually my first time getting to do an overview of one. And I'm pretty impressed. I also like how the navigation system pops up right here. Great Harman Kardon audio system. I'm pretty impressed by EVs. I think EVs are the future. Obviously, me owning a Tesla, I'm a Tesla fanboy. But out of all the EVs, I've had a chance to experience many of them, not all of them. You know, the Mercedes-Benz EQS, multiple Teslas, the Mach-E's, the Polestar, I'm very impressed by. And I think, you know, maybe if I wasn't gonna think about getting a Tesla and I wanted an EV, I think the Polestar would pretty be high on my list. I love the styling, and I think not everyone is too crazy about the minimalistic styling of Teslas. The styling in this one has a little bit more substance to it. You know, I love my Tesla, and I'm happy with its bare and sparse interior, but not everyone's crazy about it. This has a little bit more happening going on. It kind of has more of a bespoke feel to it, more like it was, you know, custom built. That's the one thing about my Tesla. As much as I love it, when I'm in my Model 3, I don't feel like I'm in something special. There's thousands of other Teslas I see on the road that look just like mine. Just like, you know, I have an iPhone 13. I love my iPhone 13 and it's great, but people aren't saying, hey, that's a really cool iPhone 13. I really love your iPhone. That's really cool. That's really special. You know, everyone has iPhones. So many people have iPhone 13s. As much as I love it, it's not going to make you feel quite as special and unique. So maybe you like me, well, unlike me, you don't want to maybe have a Tesla like everyone else. Maybe you're not crazy about Elon Musk, but you want a battery electric vehicle. Well, this might be a great one to consider. And the other cool thing about this is it's a hatchback. Instead of having a regular trunk, you have a hatchback, which makes it a little bit more functional and usable. So that's kind of the cool thing about this one. It's not really like a Model 3, because the Model 3 has a trunk. But having this liftback, you have more cargo space. Obviously, you can move this cargo, remove this cargo area cover, and you can fold down those seats for a lot more cargo space. And it looks like we have some additional storage under here as well. And there's the cable to charge the vehicle. Really cool looks and lines on the Polestar too. It's a compact vehicle, so it's, like I said, it's along the size of like a Tesla Model 3, BMW 3 Series, Mercedes-Benz C-Class, our product, the Infiniti Q50. We can see that the styling is very distinctly Volvo. They're not trying to copy anyone else. And I definitely appreciate that. Because me being in the car business, I'm exposed to a lot of cars, and the luxury end of things, I'm exposed to a lot of nice cars, but cars tend to start to look the same to me. I mean, I think that's probably one reason why I do like Teslas. It's kind of like an automotive breath of fresh air. It's something different, something that's completely unlike most other vehicles on the road. And obviously this is probably not as much of a stark difference as a Model 3 compared to most cars, but I've always appreciated Volvos even before they started making EVs, just because they had their own unique styling. And even the gas Volvos I like a lot, just because they're a little bit different. Their styling, the way they function, the way they drive and feel, set themselves apart from the rest of the vehicles on the road. And when you're paying good money for a vehicle like this, you know, you don't want to necessarily always blend in with everyone else or just kind of be another car in the parking lot. This is something that's special. There's not a million of them on the road. And the other thing too is that even though Polestar is not an everyday name like Tesla, Polestar is actually a pretty successful EV brand. I think right now, statistics wise, I'll double check my data, but they're making about 50,000 EVs a year. As far as I know, that's probably one of the best-selling EVs in the United States. you know, probably a little bit behind Tesla, but compared to everyone else making EVs, 50,000 EVs a year is pretty good for a brand like this without the same recognition as Tesla. They're great, they're reliable. And that's the other thing to talk about too, about electric vehicles. You're not just going to save money on gas, you're going to save money on maintenance, because, you know, think about having a power drill versus a lawnmower. You know, that's maybe an extreme difference, but obviously a lawnmower is a little bit more complex than a power drill. I mean, how often do you have to service your power drill? How often does it break? You know, obviously this thing's a lot more complex than a lawnmower, but you know, you're going from a gas car with thousands of moving parts to something with dozens of moving parts. There's a lot less for it to go wrong. Battery electric vehicles are a lot less complex. You know, you have batteries, you have electric motors, you have drive units, but if you look at the complexity of gas engines, emission control systems, valves, timing chains, timing belts, spark plugs, you know, all the circuitry and hoses and stuff underneath the engine cover, you know, you can see that things are a lot different. You know, even though EVs, battery electric vehicles might look similar in form to a gas car, when you look underneath, they're really a lot different. And that just goes to show you that just because you might be good at making you might be good at making, you know, gas cars, doesn't mean necessarily it's going to translate to you making great EV vehicles. We can see that in the transition to smartphones. Obviously, we had Nokia, BlackBerry, all these great companies that were dominating the market, but all of a sudden, you know, Apple came along with an iPhone and they kind of put the world on its head, and everyone else was kind of following suit. Well, that's what we're having with EVs. Tesla has set the bar really high for everyone else. They're the leaders in EVs, technology, battery technology, so everyone else is playing catch up. But one company that I think is doing a pretty good job creating their own identity and making a really good quality EV product that could compete with some Tesla models. Maybe pick up some sales for people that, like I said, aren't crazy about Teslas but want a battery electric vehicle. This Polestar is a great candidate. Thanks for watching this video. Hope to see you soon, and have a wonderful day.